just found out a few days ago that these two lovely young ladies have been named National Merit Semi-finalists. 1% of the high school seniors in our country have attained this recognition, and you've earned it. It wasn't given to you. And you now have packets to fill out and will await whether you've been chosen National Merit Finalist. This is Kate Jones and Chelsea Green, who are seniors at Central High School, have gone through the public school system all the way through here in SAISD. And I would like our audience to get to know you a little better, and particularly the parents and young people who are hoping someday to be sitting here, who will have also gotten this very distinguished an award. Talk to me first, where did you go to school? Chelsea.
I went to kindergarten at Bowie Elementary, and then I was selected to be part of the GT Magnet program, so I attended Crockett from 1st through 6th grade. And then I went on to Glenn Middle School and CFC and Central High School.
Okay, all the way. What about you, Kate?
My entire elementary school was McGill Elementary, and then I went to Lee Middle School, then CFC and Central.
Wow. You all have both had an interest in music, a little bit in a little different vein. And the reason I'm interested in that, music is very important in my life, but I have found many of our top students, either valedictorians, salutatorians, national merit, have either been a part of band, choir, orchestra, or a church group, or have at least had a strong passion for music. Tell us about how music has impacted you. Kate.
Well, I've been playing 3 different instruments since I was about 12, and I'm in the choir at Central, and I feel that it helps with the analytical mind, counting a lot, doing a lot of, but then it also helps with the creative mind, with following the actual idea behind the music. It really affects both hemispheres of the brain.
So you've thought about this. Way to go. What instruments?
I play violin, bass guitar, and piano.
Wow. Is it going to be after high school anything to do with your schooling, or will it be more just for pleasure and, I think for myself, therapy?
It is mostly a hobby. I think it will always be a hobby, but I might take a few college courses in it just to keep myself disciplined.
Good for you. Which instrument do you think you would take a college course?
Probably either the piano or the bass guitar.
Wow. What about you, Chelsea?
I've always been interested in music. I mean, I've sung just for myself and at church since I was little, and I've been a part of my youth worship team for the last 5 or so years at my church, and I was also in ballet since I was 3 till about the time I was 15, so that just has a lot of music and incorporating all of the movement and counting and rhythmicality to it.
What is your strongest subject, if you could just pick one, or maybe 2?
I'm most science-oriented, particularly chemistry and biology.
Okay, what about you, Kate?
I'm more of a math person. Not so much in geometry, but I do the algebra a lot.
Which is wonderful because there is a shortage of females in math and science in our world, so that's wonderful. Now talk to us about where you're going to go, and this is still pretty early. We're early in this senior year, and I know from my own children that a lot can happen as to where you'll go to college. What's your first, second, and maybe third, or if you may just have one choice about where you'll be next year this time? Chelsea.
Okay. This summer I was given the opportunity to go to a summer program at Columbia, so I'd really love to end up there, somewhere around there, because they have amazing resources and you're in the middle of everything. And I'm also considering Rice and several other schools. I still have a lot of work to do, narrowing it down.
So what did you do at Columbia for a summer program?
I took a course in biomedical engineering. So
How did you find out about it?
I was just looking on the website one day and I just stumbled upon that.
And you're an only child.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, do you think you would get homesick going that far away?
I was homesick at times, but I think I'd be fine.
Well, I know
It's not
your
been-
mom and dad would miss you like crazy, but that is a great, great school in a great city. So perhaps Columbia, perhaps Rice, or those right now are at the top of your list. What about you, Kate?
Right now, it's a toss-up between University of Houston and Texas A&M.
And you told me the other day, but tell our audience, how have you locked into those two?
Well, I spent a couple of weeks up at A&M this summer for I had two different programs. One was an honors invitational and the other was an engineering camp. And University of Houston called me up this summer and they were interested in me, so I need to check that one out. And just because they called, I've decided to put them in my top two.
Well,
And
good
it's
for you.
in-state.
Well, you need to visit more than one. My father made us go visit 4, just so we would have a comparison. And there's no magic to 4, but I think you would enjoy going to visit and having a basis of comparison. You told me the other day, I think, that you're interested in engineering.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Chelsea, what did you say?
I'm looking at neuroscience right now.
Okay. And what would you like to do with that degree?
Probably some kind of research. I don't know, and the fields are changing so fast that who knows
Absolutely.
what's going to be available. I'm just going to kind of figure it out as I go. I have a general direction, so I can
So right now
specify
it's of
later.
interest. And you know that often one professor who is outstanding can sway you into a program. And the same holds true if they're not very good, they can run you out. You're not as interested. So I hope that you continue, both of you, with some good professors that will draw you into those atypical female attractive fields. Talk to me about what in engineering, Kate, what kind? There are lots of different kinds of engineers. Do you know yet?
Right now, I'm kind of unsure. I'm thinking maybe the engineering technologies field, just because emerging technologies is an open field, and engineering would be a challenging subject for me, and I think I'd enjoy it.
Well, you say you're good in math, so that would be a good choice for you. You've got to be strong in math for that.
Yes.
Who in SAISD, since that's your sole education so far, has someone you think had a particular impact on you, and why?
One of my strongest teachers, of course, they've all had an impact on me, but recently Mrs. Sheldon at Central has really had an impact on me because I wasn't really sure, no one subject really stuck out as my favorite until I got to chemistry, and that really just clicked with me, and I discovered that I had a passion for it, and I had her for both years of chemistry, Chem 1 and Chem 2, so.
What about how she teaches, and I love going in her classroom, helped that subject, which is hard for a lot of people, come alive for you, Chelsea?
Well, it's just, we look at so many different aspects of it, because we have the textbook and the worksheets that go along with that, but then we have the opportunity to go into the lab and really see what it is that we're working with and what it is that it all means.
She does a lot of labs. I pass by her room and have yet to catch her not in a lab. She's always in a lab, which is helpful for me in learning, is to be able to sink my hands into something and manipulate it. She's wonderful. What about you, Kate?
Well, my biggest inspiration has been Coach Bozarth. She's been a driving force throughout my entire high school career. Just, you can't help but catch on to her motivation and feel the drive that she uses, and the determination that she puts into everything she does rubs off on you, and it helps a lot in schoolwork and everyday life situations.
Well, I noticed she came and brought a lot of young ladies from her team to y'all's reception the other day at Central. Are you an athlete?
I'm actually the volleyball manager. I played my freshman year, but I've been a manager for her since.
And managers work hard. You've got to have a work ethic.
Yes, ma'am.
And she has modeled that for you, hasn't she?
Very much so.
And your application that you have to turn in for your to become a finalist, you told me you wrote an essay. You tell me a little bit about that essay, because a lot of people may not realize now to become a finalist isn't just based on your score. What is a part of that packet that now has to be turned in?
The majority is still more facts and statistics, that just the basic information and all of our grades and transcripts that our counselors are responsible for putting together. But there are also several letters of recommendation that go into that, and an essay that we had to write.
And what is the essay topic?
It's fairly broad. It's to write about a person, an obstacle that we've overcome, or what is the third one?
Influences, something that has influenced you. Or
Yes, and how they've had an impact on your life.
And what's the limit on it, word limit? Did they give you a word limit?
There's not a word limit, but there's a space limit. It has to fit in a certain little square on the
about
application.
half a page.
So you've got to be very succinct, show that you can elaborate on your idea. And did you in this packet have to give other information about what you've done with your time in high school, like your community service?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Wow. What have you all done in your, what are you a part of? You have manager of the volleyball team, and which is very successful volleyball team, we might add, and have played instruments. What else have you been a part of to do community service?
I make the lunch bags for the Meals for the Elderly.
Oh.
They're adorable. And I recycle the newspaper a lot. But I work a lot, so I don't really have time for the community service.
So you've kept a job?
Yes.
Way to go, girl. Wow. What about you, Chelsea?
I've also had a job for a couple years now, and as far as community service, I volunteer through my church. We've gone on a mission trip 2 years ago to Costa Rica, and this year over winter break I'll be going to Ethiopia to help drill a water well.
My goodness. So you've both worked, you've both been involved in organizations, whether it's at school or at church, and then you've done consistent community service. I would say you are very well-rounded and smart. So I can say that about you. You're fixing to enter in a very few short months the next great phase of your life, and you've had supporters up to this point, family, friends, teachers, coach, and when you go away to college, you will have to develop a new nest. Do you anticipate, or are you looking for enough ahead while you're investigating colleges to see what is available to you at colleges? Organizations, clubs, sororities, whether they be service and or social. Have you started looking down the road a little bit at that? And not just, some people might think, well, they're so smart now, they're national merit, they must have spent their whole lives in a book. And you've proven that wrong. And when you go to college, have you thought about what you might be doing other than your nose in a book?
Certainly. I mean, really how I found the summer program that I went to was I was looking at different colleges' websites based on their a cappella groups, just on a whim. So I just found Columbia's a cappella group, and they were my favorite that I happened upon that night. And I don't know if I'll pursue that, but I enjoy listening to that and any kind of theater and performances in the area. I'm really excited to.
Have you been a part of the theater at all growing up, civic or school?
No, I haven't, but
you enjoy it?
Yes,
I enjoy it too.
I attend. I don't partake, but.
Well, I have been sort of the same way. What about you, Kate?
Well, I know the University of Houston has a sorority fraternity for engineering, and
I think most good engineering schools do have that. It's very important, I think, for those wanting to get jobs in the engineering field. That opens doors, I think. So I would highly recommend you doing that. Good. So you've both looked a little bit more than just where a school is located and what they offer for majors. Good job. You have contributed, according to your principal, a lot for your school, and you've made it a richer place, not only for the staff, but for other students, and we thank you for that. You both will be greatly missed next year at Central, and thank you for what you have contributed. You've modeled an excellence, a record of contribution, as well as making good grades. Thank you, young ladies, and we're going to follow you as you go wherever it is you end up.